Jack Smith when he's in office. One of the first things.
I think it'd be impossible for him to not fire him because this man just went after him. And, he just shows that he's got this tendency to be overly zealous in prosecution of people he disagrees with. I don't think that it means he's not he's not an unbiased person. He shouldn't be in the court system. He shouldn't be dealing with cases.
Well, my question is, how can you fire somebody that doesn't have the backing of Congress to be doing what he's doing in the first place? That's the way you do a special prosecutor. Congress has to say, okay.
So that's a good, interesting point. But you don't think he could be able to get him removed from?
No, I'm saying, how can you fire somebody who's not even legally there, who doesn't have the backing of Congress? He's not there. I mean,
isn't it bizarre that they got away with this for so long too, doing this? I mean, and that was common knowledge, wasn't it?
Over a year ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I forgot about that. It was like it was
Mr. Suspenders brought it up. Kennedy, I think, was the first time I heard it.
He did something right, I guess. Trying to sound like a.
What do you think?
I think that the first thing you should do is walk in the door, get sworn in, walk right in, fire his ass. That's the first thing you should do.
Clear stuff out. Have your box.
Well, another thing.
But then actually, what you should do after that, you should put an investigation right into it.
But my thing, me and John were talking about that before you came in, because another thing that he said that he'll consider a pardon for Hunter Biden in the laptops.
Do you agree with that? I don't.
100%. Like, what happens to the dog shit when it dries up? It blows away, right? Mm-hmm. What I would rather him come in with a clean slate than have to go through 6 months of a year of stupid Democrats.
And let's face it,
trying.
You got a point too, because if there was anything legit, I mean, really substantial, they should have gone with they should have prosecuted earlier. What was ever on the laptop? They didn't. They delay that even looking at it. So there is a statute of limitations. It's been obviously 6-7 years. So unless it was a murder or a fleeing felon scenario, like that kind of stuff. I mean, there was a statute of limitations, a lot of the crimes and stuff like that. Wouldn't there be?
Yeah, but my point is, why be sidetracked by BS? And then fun and games. You give the Democrats fun and games in front of the camera.
I think it's a good play. I mean, I think it's a good play to take, because it's basically approach. It's like, okay, we're not going to deal with this. Yeah, he's forgiven. He's got the he's
we did that with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and it was a good thing, because he would have been
but look
the same thing. But why? Okay, but why do you want to be sidetracked with Hunter Biden the first 6 months to a year going through the courts?
I agree with that point. That point I agree with, except for one point. We did that with Hillary Clinton.
He's already been tried in the civilian court system, and he hasn't been pardoned from that. I mean, if they're saying he could be convicted and he could go to jail, and Trump says, okay, no, I'm pardoning. Let them live their best life. What's the problem with that?
When Democrats come in again, then there's going to be one more person they're going to run through. Democrats will always run these people.
Okay, you can't live your life for Democrats, though. You live your life for the American people and the Republicans that in the House and Senate, right? What are you going to go after every little nitpick?
I don't think you go after them, but I think
I just don't understand where you're coming from.
Here's the fact. The fact is, Hunter Biden. It is a fact.
Okay, but he's already been through the court system.
Has sold out the court.
He's already been through the court system, and he's already been convicted.
You and I do that. We're so far.
You're not understanding. He's already been through the court system. All he's doing is pardoning, so he doesn't go to jail.
Okay. So that's right. That just because his last name is Biden, he doesn't go to jail.
I'm saying it takes that off the table, and it's done.
Okay.
Well, I'm asking you, why do you want it to be sidetracked when he's got a mission?
The only opposition I can see to somebody might have towards them, I'm just playing the devil's advocate. They can say, well, look, I mean, what was it? Didn't they get him on basically fraudulent statements on a gun form? A BA.
It was stupid form? What they got him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't get him on the stuff they should have got him on. So yeah, on the gun thing, yeah, I don't know. That's stupid.
I wouldn't.
What are we going to get anyway? What, 2 years? A year, 2 years, 5 years?
Yeah, just
pardon them on that. That's fine. That's stupid. But the thing is, and pay the fine and go home. But
then they're gone. They wash their hands of it. No more Bidens. No more Harris.
So they can't say, well, you're being.
And then that takes away the October supply.
What October? So
big old things.
Who didn't know Trump was a Nazi and a bigot? And we already knew that already, right? Well, that's why we're voting for him, right?
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yeah, I don't see how that. Oh, there's a good statement too that somebody made from a local, used to be part connected to a group here, and he said try to say that Trump, if he's reelected, is going to do everything he can to put black people into slavery. And I'm like, that's kind of crap. I mean, it's just an absurd notion.
You know what? That is the that is the left side
Projecting themselves.
Right.
Yeah, they're projecting themselves.
But okay, in Florida, it's not going Harris's way because Trump is flipping Democratic counties right now in Florida.
God.
With the mail-in voting and in-person or early voting.
I saw something yesterday that said, and this was a Democratic pollist, right? Who said, because I took some time off yesterday just to watch different things and get ready for today. And one guy said, if everything's going the way it's going right now, you'll know the day before.
That was Halpern from from Newsmax.
Yeah, he said,
but he was talking to Megyn Kelly, right?
No, yeah. Well, one guy was talking, but this guy was actually talking.
He also talked on Newsmax and repeated the same thing, but Megyn Kelly went more in depth, and he also said, "Put a big if on this that we'll know possibly days in advance who the new president's going to be."
And he said it's going to be Trump. He said you'll know the day before.
Yeah. I do get more. I'm getting more of ideas of hopeful, getting more hopeful because I've seen people. Did you see that? It was on Instagram or TikTok, I can't remember which one. It was a party store owner, a convenience store owner, whatever. And people come up to the window and he's asking everybody, most of them are black, about Trump or Harris, Trump. All these black individuals, saying Trump. Right. So, I mean, and this is the inner city. You can tell it's like one of the bigger cities. I think it's in New York because the way the building's constructed and stuff. And so, I mean, if these people and he's asking for reasons and they're saying, we had it better. We all the country was running better under Trump. She has nothing to show us. She hasn't and I think that's hopeful because the people who are typically responsive, they vote out of anger or out of trying to get over on people are seeing that, I'm stupid if I vote for Harris because she offers nothing for the black community because she plays it up when she's allegedly black when it's convenient. Then she ignores that when it's convenient.
But lately she's been, a couple of interviews ago, she sort of stepped away from that and said, yes, I'm a woman. And then that's not important. What's important is what Trump is doing bad. He started going off on Trump she didn't say she was black.
No. Did you see
in the last interview where she was asked the question twice?
Did you see where a group of black women where they interviewed a group of black women from CNN or MSNBC did, and they said
they tore her up.
They tore her up, and they said we're not voting for her because you think she's black because when she was sworn into the Senate. She was sworn in as the first Indian. So they're like, why would we vote for her now? It's just saying now she's black.
It's like you checked the wrong box initially, so we can't let you go back and redo.
Well, and then did you see what happened? I just heard about this today, and it was down in Royal Oak. Did you see where the Muslim
Royal Oak, Michigan,
where the guy got kicked out of a Kamala Harris campaign?
Out of the rally?
Out of her rally. Because he was Muslim.
Well, I mean, how did they know he's Muslim?
Because he was a candidate that ran it last
as a Democrat.
He ran as a Democrat, and when he went through his different things.
I didn't see it.
No, so they were running a today they had a press conference on there. Charlie from down in Detroit, where he goes around does all the different.
Charlie.
What's his name?
I can't remember.
I can't remember his last name.
Yeah,
he's an independent reporter now. He used to be with Channel 7 or something,
right.
And then he went off on his own. He also did the squatter where he took over. A squatter was squatting in a house, and he went and took over the house, and he squatted the squatter.
Yeah,
when the squatter left.
Yeah, and so, but anyways, he was there at this thing and asked this guy. He's a very, very well-rounded, very nice guy. He said the reason why they kicked him out. And he asked him, why am I kicking out? They're like, and they had the police and the Secret Service to remove this guy out of a Kamala Harris thing. And he said,
but he doesn't know. Obviously, he doesn't know why he's been removed. He thinks
the only reason why is because he was Muslim.
Okay. Speaking of,
that goes inclusion, right?
Yeah. Well, but what do you think about the migrant crisis in New York? It's $50 billion as of today has been spent on them. Oh no, that was in 2023.
It's 100. Yeah, it's 100
for fire, police, social services.
That's a huge budget. I mean, that's a huge budget to see people who are not even U.S. citizens through
to put that on.
And we have $150 million that goes to immigrants, and still North Carolina, some of the places are still without electricity.
This $150 billion went to New York.
That's what I just said. Yes.
Yeah, 150 billion people. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I mean,
just for the illegals.
Right. But yet we can't
to house, food, clothes, medical.
What do you think the operating budget of the VA is each year?
It doesn't.
Well, I'm just making a point. They would deserve it more than these people who are totally here illegally. I mean, I think
the people in North Carolina deserve it. I think everything that's going to illegals right now should be lifted and shifted to North Carolina and Florida. It should be frozen where it is. No more.
Go home.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know why they're so sympathetic to people. They act like nobody here actually suffers any setbacks in life.
Well, it's because they're having them vote illegally.
Yeah, that's what they want. Yeah, they want.
Okay, but we discussed that a couple of shows ago that illegals, what we call illegals, when they can vote, don't necessarily vote blue. They vote red. They're not stupid people just because they're here illegally.
Yeah, I would think that they would vote for the party that let them in. And
they don't care. No, that's not what happened. Look in Florida. That's not what's happening around the United States, Florida and Texas.
Well, I know there's a Cuban immigrant that works here in one of the stores here, and I see her on a regular basis. And
is he an immigrant or is he an American?
She became an American,
okay.
But she goes. She was saying I said, why do people vote about the Harris, campaign? And she goes, I don't understand why people vote for. I lived under socialism. This is what women advocates, and it's a disaster. My family's living in misery over there in Cuba. And recently just had a basically, their power grids and failing.
I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. These people aren't evil that are coming across the border. I'm sure if we were in that same position and they told us we could come, we would come, wouldn't we? I know I would. For a better life.
Well, let's face it, all of us here. My mom's family's from Hungary.
And that doesn't mean that my values change just because I went over the border. And most likely these people are religious. Well, and they believe in family.
Well, that's the Hispanics like in Florida that came over, especially during the Castro era. They tend to be very. I know a couple of families from there.
They're conservative,
staunch conservative,
and that's what they're finding with these people that are coming across the border. They're not, unless they threaten them or whatever into voting Democrat.
I think it's like we got to. I mean, that's
you don't change your values.
When you just come over,
when you come over a border.
Well, I know that
they came over for a better
life. We say it's illegal, but the United States is letting them in, so it's obviously legal.
Right. That's what one guy made a point on a forum I was online. He was trying to get in here, and he goes, people say no, you can't come in. He goes, I'll just go to the government. The government will let me in.
Right.
Because he's trying to get people to give him money to come over here, and he said they're not going to do this, and he said, well, I'll just come in, and the government will give me money anyway. So he knew that.
I mean, if you wanted to come to the United States and you can get a piece of paper that says, okay, you're legal to be here for X amount of years until you get a court date or whatever it is, and you can work, why wouldn't you do it? I wouldn't come through the right way if I could be here tomorrow.
I can't blame if somebody's circumventing the system. And if they know there's a possibility of getting away with it, why not? I mean, let's face it, we might be in the same position if everything goes, if the Democrats have their way and this country hits disastrous.
I think everything's going to come to a screeching halt. And I don't think it's ever going to go back to the way it was, because people, at least not in our lifetime, because it takes a while to forget why things are the way they are.
And I don't think if you just keep on reiterating to the next generation who did this and why we did that,
Well, you got a lot of kids grew up in COVID. That was their life.
Right.
Okay. And they didn't know Trump, but now they're going to get to see him, and those values are going to be instilled in them. They're going to see how an economy is supposed to work, and then new opportunities are going to be opened up to them, don't you think?
I think,
and they're going to want to live their best life.
I think people need to get away from this whole gimme situation, and I think this is it. I think the people coming over are coming for a better life.
Okay, but that wasn't the question. The question asked is the kids that grew up in COVID and they see what Trump has to offer. Do you think they're going to want to ever let COVID happen again? At least, No, that's what
No.
I'm trying to say.
Well, no, they're not going to go for the lockdowns. I mean, they're certainly not. They're not going
Nobody's
to
gonna
be.
go for
There'll be
those,
more questioning of it. I mean, and it's like I still see people saying, "Are you saying that you believe the government did this deliberately just for control?"
Yes,
yes.
that's what the government does. It controls things, it makes regulations, and it taxes.
Because let's face it, they know that they don't have any relevancy in your life as long as if your life is running happily. Now, any situation they can seize upon saying we have to insert ourselves, they're so eager to do that because they want that control. They do not want.
But you as a
freedom.
business owner, and I know that you know people who have had trust before, and you know what happens when people have money and they leave money to other people.
Right.
They get taxed. You're possibly gonna be. It seems like your business is booming pretty good. You're gonna possibly have something to pass on to your family. Did you? I mean, have you thought about that? About some kind of financial thing, so it doesn't get taxed to death? Like they can't keep it because they owe taxes because you died.
You have to put the money back into the company. You have to keep reinvesting it back in. You can't leave it, and then you have to leave it in an operating agreement, or you have to keep putting it into a trust, and then you have to keep praying to God that the company keeps moving, and your family wants to keep working it. That's the hard part because a lot of businesses, a lot of the kids that keep coming up in the businesses, they don't want to.
But they
do
should
that.
have they should have be able to make the decision to have a company that's making money to sell it
because they want to.
Because they want to, not because they have to sell it to pay taxes.
This dude thing that she's got,
but you could possibly leave your whole family with debt, tax debt.
Yeah, because this dude death taxes she's got on. That basically, if I die, Caitlin's got to. If I die, honestly, all the stuff that I've got and everything, my will and all, Kate's going to be paying a huge amount of death tax.
And what's crazy is you've already paid taxes to get the business where it is, and they have to. It's like they're starting the business all over again. But you're going to say something, John.
No, so I was going to say this is exactly what I'm back when McGovern was running against Nixon. He wanted to involve the possibility of people having inheritances, which is family farms, which we depend on, for the agribusinesses and stuff, would have been in peril. Anybody else who had businesses that the American depends on for the economy of that country would have been in peril because now the heirs of this kind of stuff would be hit up with huge taxation, just basically they're pulled away from their control and handed over to somebody else who was going to pay the government for that privilege. So I mean, that's what happens. It's like their investments in their time and life is handed over to a bunch of idiots who have never done anything except lied sufficient enough to get elected in some kind of position.
Well, here's the thing that I saw the other day, and we were talking about this. You get taxed, you earn. When you earn it, you get taxed.
Right.
And then if you save it and you go to spend it, you get taxed. And then when you go to do something else, you get taxed. When you spend money, you get taxed. And when you die, you get taxed. And all through your life.
But the same thing, though. You got taxed on money that you gave me, and it may be a transaction when you're giving it to me, it gets taxed. And then when I go to use the money that's already been taxed on you and been taxed in our transaction, it's going to be taxed again.
And all it does is benefit politicians. It does. I mean, that's it. They walk away with a great paycheck for very little effort.
And that's why they're all squealing right now, because Trump wants to do no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security.
Right.
I haven't seen it what age it starts, because he keeps on saying seniors. Not everybody's considered a senior just because they started drawing Social Security at 62. Right. And then no tax on overtime.
Yeah.
And then also, did he say he's going to bring it down to as low as 15% for corporations that stay here and build?
Yeah.
But they're all squealing like stuck pigs.
We gotta have it.
How is he going to pay for this?
It's like how they
it's called futures. Some of it.
Well, and the other side is that cut your goddamn spending.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it's like, you don't have to give billions of dollars to Zelensky every time he comes back with his hat held in front of him. You don't have to do that.
We need to stop that. In my opinion, call me, what's the word isolationist if you want to. I don't think we need to be the world's policeman.
We were intended to be isolationists. That's what we were set up for. Washington in his farewell address said, George Washington, he said, do not make any political alliances permanent. I mean, we find reasons to go to war. I mean, how
many times has Lindsey Graham come out of the woodwork? We need to go help Israel.
Yeah.
We need to go attack Syria.
Yeah.
We need to go attack Iran.
It's good for a man who never was I don't think he was ever in the military. Oh,
he was in the military, but it's never like in the front line. He never been up there to do stuff. He was always in the.
He's a JAG officer.
Yeah.
Basically, he was basically a liar,
He sat behind the desk.
Yeah, sat behind the desk. It's like, like a saber rattling for fun and
when
profit.
he wasn't, and then when he wasn't behind the desk, he was in the closet.
Yeah, it's exercise video. Come in, come out, come in, come out, come in. But anyway,
is a closet let people in.
Yeah. You could come out now, Lindsay. It's really good actually. If you come out, you probably get more votes. On from the other side. Which
and then you were going to talk about the Saline School Board.
Oh yeah, the Saline. It's in Saline, Michigan's near Ann Arbor, and it's like a Michigan school board member expressed shock after discovering that some parents oppose including LGBTQ topics in updated sex education curriculum. I think we concentrate too. I can understand teaching sex education in school for about where babies come from and diseases. But alternate lifestyles and stuff, you go to college and more explore those areas.
It's homosexuality, right?
Basically, yeah, that's what they're pushing. They're pushing
I'm not saying it's bad or it's good, but that's what it boils down to, that they want to teach same sex.
Well, okay, no, let's face it. These people say that people should, for firearm ownership or anything like that, you should have to be informed. You should actually know of the awareness and the dangers and stuff like that. So I can understand teaching the kids about sex because, if you're having random sex, unprotected sex, you can get diseases that are horrific, or you can also have pregnancy. Yeah. But other than that, what you got to teach? Well, here's what you can also do.
Alternative
lifestyles. That's going to come about. They're going to have feelings on their own. They're going to explore that.
Why do they need to learn that?
Why they got to be taught that at an early age? It is indoctrination. There's no way in hell other than slicing other than that. It's indoctrination.
Go to Harvard. They'll teach you really well about that. Yeah,
they'll teach you about that. You go to college and explore all those things. It costs you money and it won't cost the taxpayers that. Well, all those big universities get a huge amount of money from governments.
I don't think it needs to be taught in school. Sorry.
I don't either.
LGBTQ needs to be kept out of school.
Well, I think that comes out of people awakening. They're having an awakening come out of COVID. A lot of things got out of control during COVID. That's when all these, pronouns, and all that crazy shit came out. That's the way I feel about it. If you don't like it, that's just my opinion. But I think people are waking up to this stuff, and plus, the black voters are saying what we wanted to say all along, and if they can say different things, then everybody can say it, right?
Right. Another thing
but that's what's helping. That's Trump is the drive behind this, that we don't have to be afraid anymore.
Well, see, I grew up in black schools and stuff. Even back then, when I graduated in '81, they had appreciation for people who were a hustler and who actually knew how to do business and stuff. They had this great love and admiration for people. I know that Trump's white, and so he might have been given a leg up, but they love that guy.
But what I meant is, it took them to say the emperor has no clothes.
Right, exactly.
And now white people or everybody else is saying, well, if they see it, then we should be seeing it too, right? Even though we have been seeing it all along, but they made it okay to identify and say it's wrong.
It's like, there's a thing on Facebook, it goes around a meme. It says basically, find out who you can't criticize, and that's where you find out who runs everything. And who can't we criticize in this country? And I'll leave that up to the individual.
I think it's becoming where you can criticize anybody you want. What about you?
I think you should be able to criticize.
No, I think you can now.
I think it's getting more and more.
Yeah. If you look on, even Facebook has lifted a lot of the restrictions.
That's like, I'm just waiting for them lowering the boom again if I say something shifts.
No, it doesn't matter. Facebook sucks anyways.
Facebook has lost a lot of its popularity.
Yeah.
Now you've got a lot more people over on X, which is ran by
Elon
Musk.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of people over on Truth. It's ran by not a lot of people, but you got people over on Truth, and then you've got Facebook, right? Facebook's not as big as everything else. You got more people on TikTok than you got on Facebook.
TikTok, I think, is like, that's the reason why they wanted to stop it. That's where they want to do away with it, the powers that be. And I was going to play that video clip sometime too about Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, about how we should rein in. They should want to rein in people doing stuff like we do. How dare you question us? You don't have the right certification.
You guys are old enough to remember. Remember how fun the internet was when it first started?
Oh, yeah.
There was no rules. There was not. I'm sure there was porn and different things back then, but
70% of the population.
But it was just fun to make a web page and different things. And then government came.
Yep.
And then Google screwed everything up. I think the search engines were were a lot more fair,
Alta Vista,
and you
remember
could
that
get
one?
into them a lot easier.
Remember Alta Vista and what was Alta Vista and the other ones?
Ask Jeeves,
S Jeeves and stuff. I mean, yeah, there was less to look for because
the
there's.
web crawler
Oh yeah, I mean that one too.
with
Yeah.
the spider.
So,
Okay, I remember that thing.
so I remember Alta Vista because they had to load up U of M's on our computers on the campus. They had that on there for our browsers and stuff. And it
I
was
remember the one that looked like a big old compass that you used to do the
That was
which one was that?
north, north, Northwood or something. Like that.
yeah. And
I can't
remember.
I can't remember right now.
something.
Netscape.
Netscape, yeah.
Netscape.
I still got a Netscape account somewhere. But,
Yeah.
Well, it changed over to AOL.
Yeah.
Some of them, but no. But what I'm saying is, I think everybody's waking up and things are more fun than they were before.
I think it's
There's
coming-
less restrictions on everything.
well, see, I always looked at having Democrats in control. They're basically like the school teachers. I mean, they always treated everybody. It was so condescending. Like, what do you know what you're saying? Can you define your terms? We'll turn that on you. I mean, people have a right to, even if they're not knowing exactly what they're talking about, if they're having a feeling about something, they should have a right to express that. But these people are always kind of approached like real condescending and very like paternalistic. We're
I
gonna
mean,
make sure we're gonna teach you.
look at how. Well, I think these things that Kamala Harris is caught on for her plagiarism, like her latest thing with Wikipedia, it's because it's old stuff, and now people are digging back into it.
Don't you think a person who's supposed to be so well educated actually should have a basic understanding of the most topic she's going to be facing as president? Don't you think so? Why would she be required to go to a Wikipedia, link or something to look it up? I mean,
You listen to her talk, and you can answer your own question.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's funny how she talks about she's prosecuted everybody.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you prosecute yourself for plagiarism? That's my biggest question.
Because she didn't think she would get caught back then. I'm sure she's not. If she did it, other people were doing it too, because somebody probably showed it to her.
There's a question about that one. Here's the how about Trump being Hitler and everything that she came out yesterday did that from the conservatory. My thought is, well, how about you being in a white party with Sean Diddy?
Yeah,
I'm curious about that.
Yeah,
what did you do at that white party and those freak offs that you've been to?
Because everybody was going, it was the norm, it was the thing to do.
Well,
I mean,
you know
you
that's
look at the
bad.
amount of people, and then do you think it's going to help her having a gay white rapper?
Who's that?
He can't. Eminem.
Oh, is he gay? Is he gay now?
But you think that's going to help her that he went to her rally in Detroit?
I don't think so.
And and then Obama, Mr. Mom Pants, came out too.
Oh yeah, and he started trying to rap.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to help Kamala Harris?
I don't know.
And cover up the Wikipedia.
Did you see the Mark Cuban and Doug Emhoff clip?
Would they hug?
No, they went to they did a campaign stop together, and Mark Cuban was falling asleep as Doug Emhoff was talking. Doug, he's like this. He's like, oh, I kept seeing this. You saw Mark Cuban's face going
low energy, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what they said, the most low energy campaign speech. And then they're sitting there talking about, then they saw Tim Watts talking about how Elon Musk came out, jumping around like a dipshit. And then as they were talking about that, then they're showing on TikTok all the things about how he's coming out like this, like his hands. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of cute.
But what do you think about French traders betting $28 million that Trump will win? Is that a foreign influence?
It could be, but it's also confidence too.
In poly market.
I think it's funny. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a thing it's a confidence because they know that it's going to win.
Because that's one person.
That was another thing that we were talking about is offline before you got here. How if the United States does well, everyone else does well. With stability of the United States, everybody wins.
Well, the other thing is too, if we have stability here, the countries now are on shaky ground politically. They'd probably stabilize their government, so feel less need to try to migrate here legally or illegally. So I mean, there's going to be more of a stabilization across the countries, because let's face it, you feel like you're going to have some benefit down the road just staying where you're at.
Because markets, everybody's in flux right now because everything's so volatile. They don't know. They don't know who's in charge of the United States, and they're frightened of what could happen on November 7th. November 8th.
November 6th.
Whatever.
Yeah.
The
day after.
The second Wednesday of the November, right?
Right.
Well,
or the
A
first?
stronger leader in America brings up every country.
Right.
Yeah.
Every country looks for a strong leader in America right now. And guess what? We haven't had one. We had one in Trump. We haven't had one in 4 years. Before Trump, we hadn't had one until you had probably last time you had one a little bit was Clinton, and before that you had Reagan.
Yeah.
Clinton was good. I mean, Clinton wasn't a strong leader, but he was good enough to talk to people.
Well, another thing is
Reagan was
like I
good.
said, Clinton was one of my favorite presidents because he didn't do anything.
Right.
Another thing is too. I think what if it was an afterglow or something that affected his image is that right in the midterm elections after he got elected, there was like a groundswell. People got tired of the Democrats and they voted in Republicans. And I think their policies and not jumping on board with
But
his
he
spending
still had
ideas.
respect.
Well, he gained it.
Worldwide. With world leaders, Clinton had respect.
And he also said, you know what, he was man enough to come back, and then after the Republicans won, and said, I need to bring my policies to the middle.
Right.
And he did say that.
Right.
He's the
Like I
first
said.
Democrat I actually heard to say, you know what, we need to go in the middle. And he brought the whole party to the middle.
Right.
You guys know how Elon Musk has been giving away $1 million per
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're upset and they want the attorney general to go after him because he's running an illegal lottery.
Oh, illegal lottery. Well, see, then the basic of my understanding of like the lottery or anything else like that to be legitimate. If you offer a prize, people pay their price, and there's actually a reward that you're stating is going to be awarded after the drawing or something like that. That's also required to be legally considered. To be considered a legal lottery or what is it? The half and half, whatever you do. So I mean, I think that's BS. It's they don't. If it was a Democrat doing this for the Democratic Party, they would be saying nothing about it. Nothing. They'd be the same
He's
thing.
not asking for money.
Yeah.
He doesn't ask for a penny from me.
No, he hasn't.
He's saying here's a drawing.
Right. But what I'm doing is just bringing up a topic that we're supposed to discuss.
No, honestly, but I'm saying he's not asking. So where are they coming up with this?
Because they're
Yes.
considering obviously that somebody's signature on a petition is worth money.
Okay.
I mean, to him, and that's what he's trading their signature
For money.
to
For an
enter a
option.
contest
What?
or a lottery.
If it's a chance to win $1 million, I'll sign a lot of papers.
Well, you already did, didn't you? I know I did.
I did. No, I think it's just basically sour grapes. That's all it is. I mean, it's like I don't like the fact you're trying to influence election by getting people to sign petitions. If people are already in line with what you're believing in anyway, we don't like that. We don't want to see this. It's they're abusive. They want power. They can't conceive that they can't sell you a bill of goods, and they're going to try to do everything, even the draconian measures, to push you and to have to agree with them.
Well, and I think I agree with that, and I think it's this way: is they don't understand business. It's like what you said,
Right?
Is they're a bunch of liars.
But in this case,
and
I think they're just running around with their hair on fire because Elon Musk.
oh god,
And they're just trying to think of ways to screw him. They don't care about the business aspect. They're not worried about that. They want to ruin him.
they're trying to bring out their billionaire, which is Mark Cuban,
Right.
Which every time he opens his mouth is like one asshole after another asshole. That's all it is.
Well, because we said, let's face it, we've already stated this before that Mark Cuban actually got in because it was a luck thing. Somebody offered something for you already established, and he sold it.
Because as soon as he sold it, it went bust.
Right.
Yeah.
If he would have held it for another year or two,
He probably
he would
gone
have been. You would not even heard of the man.
Right.
But
Because he'd
then,
been poor.
so and then the other side where they bring in Mark Cuban, then the other side
They
the
do,
Republican
but-
brings in they bring in Mr. Wonderful and everything's wiped off.
But most people don't even know who he is.
No, but he thinks he does.
And the
And the
And the
Democrats,
same thing. Okay, Eminem, I guess he is famous, right?
Yeah.
But is he famous enough to sway? I'm just saying that all they do is bring a bunch of
Has-beens.
washed up loser has-beens on stage. Have they had anybody of world precedence, businessman wise, or
No,
other than Bill Gates? That he was accidentally found out because people were digging that I think he gave her $50 million. Kamala Harris.
That was the reason why he did that.
It was supposed to be dark money, but because people are digging through stuff, that they found the connection to him and he admitted it.
Yeah,
But anyways, when you were talking about the UN talking about trans athletes in the Olympics taking, I think it was like 100 or so medals from females.
yeah. See, okay.
What do you think about that?
Well, it's like, okay, I don't think they're okay. As much as they think, and these transgender people shave their face and put their makeup on good and get the best fashion, they're still at the molecular level of a male. They're going to enjoy the advantages of strength.
They're going to die a man.
They're going to die a man. They're still right now. I'll tell you what. If they were to commit a crime and left DNA evidence behind, they didn't say, "Gee, I was a woman that did this." No, it's going to be a man.
But would you think the UN would be the one that would do the study and bring it to light?
No, that is the odd part. That is the odd part. I don't know what prompted that. I think, but then again, you can say sometimes help comes from or ally comes from an unexpected source. But
well, they did come up with this. They did find out one thing. The one thing that is tripping up the Democrats right now is the one question that's hurting them is the one. Do you believe that men should be in the women's sports? And they don't have an answer for it.
Why should we know?
Yeah. Well, this should be a pat one no, because they are still males.
And Trump already said no. That's one of the first things he's going to do too. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm all for people living their best life, but it's your life, and I don't have to be a part of your life.
Exactly.
And why should you be able to tell me because I feel like a girl or you feel like a girl that you're going to do certain things. You should be able to get everything a female gets.
Well, I think the progressives, they have their way about it. Say a guy works with some person he thinks is female and it's not a female, but the person's coming on to him and to ask him out, they almost force you to, have to accept that because you don't want to be discriminatory. They're going to push legislation down throats. I can see them doing something like that. I really could or trying.
But if Trump goes in there and says no, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to cry, but it's the same thing that we were talking about. Remember, day before yesterday, that Trump's having a good time right now. He knows this is his last rodeo. Yeah. And do you think he's going to care if some Democrats? Right. It's probably going to make him happy. He's going to go dry their tears with the hanky. Here you go. Embroidered. Here's a presidential hanky.
It's just, I disagree with people and I get mad when something I have, they get something put through that I don't agree with. But the liberal, the progressive act like the whole world's going to come crashing down because we don't follow their lead because they're such visionaries. They can't sum it up how great the world would be if we just allowed them to run our lives.
Well, that's just like, what's his name? Anyways, they were debating trans, and this person's telling him what a bad person he is and how he should accept this, and how can you sit there and not accept this? And he said, how can you sit there and push your values on me, and you're doing the same thing that you're accusing me of right now?
I remember that debate.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. I remember that debate, and the guy wanted to beat him up.
But when you turn the tables on him, like we talked about J.D. Vance and Trump do all the time during the interviews, where the interviewer's asking these questions and they start firing back at the interviewer, and the interviewers knocked on their heels and don't know what to do because nobody's ever
brought that
asked them back questions or answered the question in such a way that they didn't expect, and they try to shut them down, and they don't let them shut them down.
Yeah, they always want you they expect you every time you ask a question, you're going to be so taken back, you're reeling back on your heels, and you can't answer it. When somebody does, they don't expect that.
J.D. Vance is good at that, and a lot of people are learning from that. They don't have to. Just because you go on somebody's show and they start asking you gotcha questions, you don't have to take it.
No, you can ask them right back their thoughts.
The press has got these people boondoggle to think that they have to answer every question. A member of the press. We're a member of the press, unofficially, I guess. But let's face it, if I go to a city council meeting and I find something the city council person's done, if I want to ask them questions about if there's a litigation process going on, I don't expect them to answer it.
Well, it was just like when Trump went to Chicago for that black people's journalist press thing with Shannon Faulkner, and that hateful woman was asking him the questions.
Right.
He showed her. I mean, he answered the questions in a way that she didn't like, but he answered them. That people were upset about that. I looked at it for a minute and said, "Man, he might be in trouble." But he came out. Everybody agreed with what he did.
Because he actually called her out for being late.
But it's just BS that we put up with these hateful race and openly racist. The way that this woman was treating him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's racist enough that they have a black press corps or whatever dinner, all black,
right?
No white people.
Right.
What if we had a white dinner? Wouldn't they get upset?
Oh, they'd be very furious. They'd be boycotting or calling for boycotts for corporations.
Why
to
do we let
sponsor
them
it or
why do
whatever.
we let people do that? I mean, why are they allowed to do that in our society anymore, where we're not supposed to have segregation and
Well,
we're not supposed to be racist?
Explain to me this. Why?
I can't. I'm
why-
asking you a question.
Okay, I want to ask this part with that question. It's just, why is Kamala Harris's platform to say that if she wins, she's going to give black people.
No, she said she'd study it. She never said that
No,
she's going to.
give. I thought
She said that she would study it. It's something that needs to be studied. That
not
was
reparations, but the black guys, she's going to give $20,000 to.
the black business owners. But
Oh, well, what happens to white business owners?
she can say anything she wants. She can say that
She
she's going
wants
to
to
turn
vote.
the sky pea green when she becomes president. It doesn't mean that Congress is going to let her do it
No, it's true, but it's just, why would you even say that though?
to get votes.
Yeah, just I mean, that's the thing is they're sacrificing the rest of they want in and they're willing to squander our futures to get that power to get in there. I mean, and it begs the question: if they're so eager to do this to everybody else, they must be reaping huge rewards for doing that for themselves.
But what it is the people are seeing right through this BS.
Well, they're just getting fed up because they're basically looking at their struggles and stuff like that. You're going to say that I owe this person something, or I'm not sure. I'm not supposed to question where you're spending my money.
It's
BS. Yeah.
I don't know why she's not running for president of Ukraine. She's gotten so much money. She's done
Right.
so much for them. So, all right. Did you see the last night, the CNN? Did you see anything on CNN? I didn't see it.
No, I don't watch CNN.
I don't really catch, but I guess last night was supposed to be that debate, that town hall debate thing with her and Trump at CNN with Anderson Cooper. And she didn't do that. He didn't do. Trump
He
didn't
never
do-
agreed to
No,
it.
he never agreed.
So
to
you
it.
can't say that it was supposed
No,
to be
but
anything.
I'm saying, but she was saying that that's what it's supposed to have been. But
It was never agreed to.
even David Axelrod came out and said that she went to world of salad last night.
Yeah.
Word salad.
Yeah,
Word salad.
She went to
I mean,
World
I
Salad
don't
last
watch
night.
her. I don't think anybody does. She has no relevance. I mean, she's the most irrelevant presidential candidate that we've ever had.
If she could say something halfway intelligent, I mean, I do think that she being around Biden, I think she's caught something from him. I mean, his inability to not express himself and go beyond a half couple of words.
Well, what do you think about what somebody said that Joe Biden he got a ha on the Democratic Party by making her the candidate instead of going through a primary process like Obama wanted. The joke's on them that he was upset that was his payback to them. What do you think? That could be true.
I think it's true.
I think it is. I think it's like, okay, Nancy, Chuck, you want this? Barack,
Do you
want
think
this?
he was she was forced on him
Well, I do.
to begin with as a VP?
Yeah.
You really think that he picked her?
No, I don't think he tried. I think she was selected by the party for him. Yeah, I do. I don't think it was a marriage made in heaven. I don't. I don't.
No, because he came out and saying right out saying, because I'm going to pick an African American woman.
Oh, here's one. Here's one. Kind of.
Do you think he was told to say? Maybe
Mhm.
told to say that
Yeah.
because they already knew who they were going to pick.
Yeah, it's like
Well, they were going to go for Stacey Abrams, and she said, "I have no interest."
Oh, she would have been horrible.
Oh, and the shit any more. So, been a shutout totally. People say her she's one of his running mate. Okay, and she was horrible
Because she still says she won the governorship of, but that's okay when she says it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's
It's
okay when
okay
she
that-
said that people cheated in an election. Nobody questions her.
Hillary questioned that.
Hillary, yeah,
Hillary
2016.
Clinton,
Because remember, at first they thought that she wouldn't succeed.
She had to get drunk to succeed.
Yeah,
Well, they couldn't wake her up or what?
She was.
She wouldn't even come out and say that.
It was like the next morning when they.
She wouldn't even made. She never made a speech, right? I'm trying to remember that. No, I don't think she ever did.
No,
I
she
think
wrote
it came
it.
out on Twitter or something, didn't it?
She wrote it, and the guy that came out the night, the 3 o'clock, came out the next morning and said, "Yes, she's finally did 100% officially succeed."
Yes. I don't know.
And she'd done it the night before, but yeah, no, last night she had said something. Anderson Cooper actually asked a very good question. He said, "Why haven't you done anything with this stuff?"
And she didn't answer the question. She did exactly what you said. She drifted. She did the weave, but she never weaved back.
Came back. No, but she used the word "done." I think I counted 10 times. we got things that we did done, and there's things to be done, and then that's
Oh yeah, we done it. We did it. We done it. We done it. We might not have done it right, but we did it. When he was asking, yeah, she never answered the question. I did see that soundbite that you're talking about.
And I was looking at going, this is kind of, I thought it was a joke. I actually had to go to YouTube to see if it was something. But I don't know.
What do you think about the October surprise that wasn't a surprise?
I mean, Kelly?
No, I'm talking about the Nazi. I know we already touched on it a little bit. About saying that Trump was a Nazi, and then the female that came out and said that Trump groped her 10 years ago, that
oh my God,
Epstein brought her to his apartment in New York.
No, I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that one at all. I didn't hear that one at all. I don't care.
Why did she wait this long? The same thing with what was it? The general, was it Kelly?
General Kelly.
They come out. He's come out now, and he said that Trump said that he wanted his generals to be more like the Nazi generals.
Yeah, well, you're like Hitler.
Why did he wait until now? If it was bothering him so bad, why are you going to wait a week and a half before the election to bring it up, unless you're trying to hurt somebody?
Well, look at the progressives. I mean, look at when Brett Kavanaugh was going through confirmation process. He got accused by one woman of doing something to him, and then another woman who she said the same thing happened to him later on.
I just don't understand how
he never met her.
And that was a circus that never should have been.
Right.
All that stuff should be closed. It shouldn't be open like that. Why?
It's well, if it wasn't taken care of.
People can read the transcripts later. I'm sorry about spitting on you.
Right.
They could read the transcripts later if they want to see what went on. Why does it have to be televised? If it wasn't televised, they wouldn't act like that. And they wouldn't have how do they always have code pink and whatever? How do they always get into these closed door, meetings that are televised? They manage to have their Democrats always manage to have their protesters in the back.
Yeah.
And they're never charged with anything.
No.
But Trump supporters would be, or so, conservatives would have been,
But that Kavanaugh thing was a joke.
I mean, this woman accused him of something she didn't.
She couldn't even remember.
She
couldn't remember the building. Remember, she said she had two doors because she had to have two doors so she could get out. But the truth of the matter was the two doors were in that building because they subletted one side of it out.
And yeah, but the one I think is more appalling is the woman that she said he did something to later on to Canada and said she had never met him, but she had sexually molested her or sexually groped her.
Remember, they can do whatever they want or say whatever they want.
And that's like we're supposed to believe always believe the woman, even if they're lying through their teeth. I mean, and then it's like this assumption that all women are always the victim on everything that happens in their life is ridiculous. But yeah, we're supposed to be equal, but they're always the victim. Which one is it?
I believe one thing. I believe that you've got to give them the ability to actually say what they want to say. And you gotta have it in quiet, and then you do investigation in private, not in the public eye. If you come out in the public and say all this stuff without being privately investigated, then yeah, do not start believing everything. Because honestly, if somebody comes out and blows it up in the public, then there's a ulterior motive behind it. If you want to do this behind the scenes and get everything figured out before,
get the ducks lined up,
get every duck line in the back, then you know what? Then you have a case. But if you come out there and say, "Hey, let me blow this case out here just all on the spot," then you have a motive. And this thing with General Kelly, that is a motive. He said this a long time ago. But here's the thing: Trump fired him. Trump fired him for a lot of different causes. Kelly also said that Trump didn't want to pay for this one. Kelly also said that he believed that that the guys were losers and everything else like that, and he didn't want to go to these grave sites because military people were losers, guys that died were losers and all this sort of stuff. He did that in 2020, gave that to Biden in the first place. So right now, Kelly has no really credibility when it comes to Trump. I mean,
most people don't even know who Kelly is.
Yeah, no, but he wants to be relevant.
But he's not. And that's just like bringing up Cheney, either the dad or the daughter. To try to bring them out as a power hitter, that they're behind you.
They're the former power hitters because they've been eliminated from the cut.
Cheney, what? He's like 80, 90?
Yeah. All I know is he's got the amazing ability to survive heart attacks. So, unfortunately, my dad died in a second one. This guy's had 6 or 7 of them and keeps on living.
Look at the Republicans have Elon Musk.
Right.
they have Gabbard, they have JFK, RFK. Sorry about that.
And they got
Trump
and
Vance.
But you actually
They have so many power hitters behind them.
Right. So many people have actually done something legitimate in their lives.
But one of the
But
guys,
Democrats have nobody.
No.
one of the guys last night,
One of what guys?
commentators last night said something really interesting on CNN. Actually made a realization. One of the old Democratic pollsters or strategists said it is weird that the last 3 elections we've had to pull out all the celebrities to actually get people to
and nobody cares because
with
there's
Trump,
no such.
all Trump has to do is show up.
Right.
But there's no such thing as a celebrity anymore, like we used to think about him.
Right.
I mean, they're all old, like Sylvester Stallone, Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
They're all old.
They're doing a concert tonight with Bruce Springsteen.
Big deal.
How's he going to resonate with anybody?
That's what we're saying.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But I mean,
He's done nothing in life. Oh, he's a singer. He's done nothing else in life. At least Schwarzenegger has been a governor of California, right?
I think.
And he's a producer of movies, and actor, director,
and financier. And
but what I'm saying is, there's no such thing as a celebrity anymore. Anybody can be a celebrity if they get a microphone and they get a following behind them. I mean, it's not that easy. You have to present something that people want to watch or they want to hear.
Well, when Schwarzenegger took over The Apprentice from Trump,
right? Yeah,
from here down to here,
right.
So, hey, did you see? I'm sorry, but this is on here, and I know it's on. I'm sorry, but did you see where Kamala Harris is person who actually confirmed that she worked for?
We're supposed to ask us a question.
No, I'm saying, did you see where the person that confirmed that Kamala Harris? What do you think about that? The person who confirmed that Kamala Harris's work for McDonald's was actually one of her surrogates.
I've never even heard that anybody even confirmed.
I've never heard anybody confirming that. I never heard that.
I've never seen anything. As far as I know, McDonald's has even said that
they have
got no record of her working there, and they said they have no record.
No, they didn't. But somebody came out.
The IRS would also have a record because if you go and sign into the IRS, they have all your records, all your pay, all your everywhere that you work.
Right.
They didn't come out with it either. So I'm just saying that's kind of interesting. Something I saw in the news came across yesterday.
So she actually couldn't scrape enough legitimacy to work to McDonald's. I mean, that's pretty sad.
But the thing is, people got to remember that some of the times that she said she was here, she wasn't because she was a kid in Canada.
Right.
She grew up in Canada. She didn't even grow up in the United States.
Well, it's like, and the Canadians are rolling their eyes like, don't blame her. Don't blame her on us. Us on her because whatever. They don't want to own up to her. Or maybe some of them do, but the ones I knew don't. They don't like her. They don't like. Oh, yeah, Justin. That's another thing. It's not on the sheet, but Justin Trudeau's actually his own party's thinking of a way of getting rid of him. And his party there is like 92 years. The Liberal Party's out of 128 years. They ran Canada for 92 of the 128, and they're just getting disgusted with Trudeau. So
I'm sure they're waking up too. Like the United States, people are sick. That's why Trump is going to win by a landslide.
It's kind of like the Brexit, don't you think, of 2016?
Oh yeah, it's.
No, that really didn't do anything. They're still a screwed up country.
Yeah, it's just they got too many. They got too many people coming in and running their country, for them. And it's like I think it's not racism or anything to say that people who live in the country should be the ones running it. I'd like to see us do that more often.
How do you feel? Okay, when Trump, he doesn't have what's the word? When he points things out, he doesn't really. Sometimes he says what he thinks about calling places shitholes and things. Do you think it's bad the way that he points things out? Like he's talked about Haiti, he's talked about Venezuela. And then these Democrats try to use it in a way that he's disparaging Venezuelans and Haitians that are here in the United States, of making them feel unwelcome.
Well,
and then he's bringing bringing undue violence on them.
No, I don't think. I've never heard any violence. I'd like to. If there is, they always make the anti-Semitism charge since the the war going on in Palestine and Israel. They're saying there's been like more anti-Semitic actions and stuff. Well, where's the documentation for all this? I mean, are people not expressing stuff that's outraged because they don't like what's going on? I don't think that's an anti-Semitic attack. I mean, it's expressing opinion.
The average person wouldn't even know where to go find an Israeli in the United States.
Or let's face it. I mean, I don't think most Americans look around saying, "I wonder who's Jewish." I don't think that's on most Americans' radar. I don't.
No.
I think the thing is I think he says it, and I think that they're looking for. If he said, "I'm going to go buy a Big Mac," they're going to have a problem with that.
They did.
Whatever
they did.
say.
When he went, they tried to say that McDonald's stock prices went down. If anything, it's going up. Like I said, influencers on TikTok are purposely getting McDonald's French fries.
Yeah.
And saying I voted
because it's
without saying that they voted for Trump.
It's including that's basically connecting him to McDonald's.
They're eating French fries and said I just voted.
Yeah,
as they're eating their fries. I think anything he says, the Democrats are going to have a problem with it. The media's
and that's what I'm saying is we have to start ignoring that crap. It's like John Kerry says that he's got to get through the noise.
Yeah,
they're now the noise.
No, you're the
they're
noise.
The static.
You're irrelevant. You're going out of style. And I hope that you enjoy retirement. I mean, I'll be polite. I hope you enjoy retirement and obscurity. But
I mean, when is the last time?
Yeah,
when is the last time you purposely tuned into Fox News, CNN, or any of the other ABC, NBCs?
The only time I ever turn on is to watch Fox or Gutfeld. Those are only 2 times.
Well, Gutfeld doesn't count.
Well, another thing is I bring this up a couple of times, but it's like I'll get blurbs like pop up on my iPad. I have an iPad set up all the time, and it's from one of the online magazines. And here's the story. Then here's what you got to know, or you should know.
I don't have to know anything.
It's like your top 5 stories that come up.
Yeah, and it's like here's what you should know. Okay, well, let me evaluate. Give me as many facts you have, and I'll find out which parts do I have to know.
I do miss local news. But even when you tune into local news, they talk more about national BS than they do what's going on in Flint, or they try to get a big swath of the state that they can't possibly cover.
Right.
Because remember when ABC was Flint,
right.
Channel 25 was Saginaw,
right.
But now they try to be mid-Michigan news.
And it's awfully hard.
And it's too hard.
It is too hard. I mean, that's why I like the idea of having podcast studios everywhere. I mean, even have 4 or 5 in one city for different side of the city, so everything that's going on there can be covered. Have somebody cover it, because that's how much stuff's going on that we should be aware of, but it escapes notice.
Yeah, but you don't even know what's happening in your own town when you try to tune into the local news. You're not going to find anything out because they're too busy just regurgitating what's national news.
Well, remember, there was a famous newspaper that said all the news that was fit to print. Well, there's a lot of stuff it shouldn't be fit to print. You should print everything. You should talk about everything as much as possible.
But that's the way you think we've lost a lot when we lost the Flint Journal.
Yeah, we did. I mean, as bad as it was, at least it was something consistent.
Well, at least Detroit talks about Detroit. Detroit Journal's better than the Flint Journal.
Well, did you bring that up?
They do Flint news every now and again.
Well, they show that how Detroit news and Detroit, all the local newspapers lost relevancy. Now they're like basically on the edge of total extinction. Gabbard, the guy who's like the mortgage company guy out of Detroit, he's actually owns the offices of Detroit News and the Detroit Free Press, and he's about to push them out of their own offices.
Really?
Yeah, I just saw that on a board last night.
Because they're not paying, or
not paying and stuff, or basically he's got better use for their property, I guess. Yeah. So that's kind of. I mean,
it is sort of sad because, like I said, Detroit newspaper is still a decent paper.
Yeah, and it's sad because it's the thing is the American people. I think that we get our news online, but I think a lot of times having it printed out is a good idea because you get a chance to examine what's being said.
But not necessarily. I'm talking about Detroit newspaper covers what's happening in Michigan.
Right.
A lot of stories of what's happening in Michigan. Doesn't have a bunch of filler AP BS because they still have editors. They still have political analysts and
what's
different kind of columnists.
Because when I was at high school, we used to get the Flint Journal, the Detroit Free Press, and the Detroit News.
Right.
And then years later, they merged. Detroit Free Press and the Detroit News merged, I guess, and they were combined or something like that. But I mean, I think papers are good. I mean, and we do this kind of stuff. But
if
I think
they're local,
if they're local press.
Flint Journal's my favorite.
Yeah, but then it became a conglomerate.
Right.
The same people that own the Flint Journal owned the rest of the newspapers in the area, and then remember when they became M Live?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Booth Publishing owned all these local papers.
And they
Booth
all
Publishing.
like printed the same
stories,
same garbage.
Yeah, and they basically just cookie cuttered it.
And how can you print a paper on Thursday? Print Sunday's paper Thursday night.
Right. Well, nothing new or exciting.
This is gonna happen.
That was the only good thing about it is I
Some people
like
get
I
shot
like
Saturday
going
night.
I like going through the ads on Sundays.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm never gonna buy any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's good to look though.
Yeah, it's like
I used to love Thanksgiving Day when you got all those big ads.
Yeah.
I hate delivering those
Then-
papers, but I like them.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
No.
they don't. I don't even. Yeah, I don't even. It's even.
Is there a Flint Journal anymore?
Yeah,
It is. It's still published.
I've seen them around.
I know they used to have in some of the convenience stores, a stack of them. You could, there's only like 3 times a week or something. I think they were offered,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's even the case. I mean, I meant that.
I used to like it where you put a quarter in at that time.
Yeah.
Not long
You put a
time,
quarter in, you're supposed to take one
One
paper
paper,
out.
yeah.
and somebody would pull 5 or 6 of them out. But yeah, you put a quarter in and grab one.
And the Wall Street Journal I used to like too, but that's really expensive now.
What do you think about Biden's energy policies and emphasize green energy?
I think Trump said he's going to do away with them when he gets in there, and then also somebody asked him if he's going to pull out of the Paris Accords,
Yes.
and he said most definitely. That's one of the first things on my agenda
Well, it's like
because he talks about how unfair it is that we pay $1 trillion a year.
it's like okay. Another thing is too. It's
All
like
right. Well, I don't know if it's a year. I know it's up to $1 trillion. He did
No, it's
say
a
a
year.
trillion
Yeah.
a year,
Yeah.
so we
and
pay
we're the only one that pays.
we pay for these people to have the right to dump out so much stuff in the atmosphere, right? But where does that money go to? It's a bunch of handful of individuals.
But that's
isn't it?
exactly what he said. Okay, so we do our part in the United States, but China's chugging all the smoke out.
India.
India's chugging it all. Where does that? It flies right over the United States.
So, but at least we're doing our bit. Like years ago, this woman I worked with at U of M, she spent a lot of time in France. She had a boyfriend in France, and they're like back then. This is like the '90s. The French are celebrating. Europeans are celebrating that they ban the hydrocarbons and sprays and aerosols.
Because of the ozone.
Oh,
Remember, when's the
yeah.
last time you heard about the ozone?
Well, that's the point she was going to say. They're saying America hasn't. Why isn't America on board for this?
We've been
already
doing
banned
it since
17
the
years.
70s.
Yeah, we've banned it 17 years before that. We already banned it. It's like we already banned it. Why would we be on board for something we
Went
already
to a
did?
higher, pay more money for refrigeration
Right.
now because of that.
If you no longer
Because
use
you can't use Freon. Use I don't know if it's up to something R49 or something like that to replace some expensive stuff.
and that's actually more dangerous for the technicians using
Right.
it than the Freon was.
Right.
Yes, I mean, so it doesn't harm the environment. It can kill the technician applying it or using it, but at least it's less harm for the environment, which it was nebulous.
Remember
Did,
hairspray
Yeah.
that was doing so much damage?
Yeah, I mean, it just
To your hair.
Yeah.
No,
To
the gas
atmosphere.
that came out. You don't remember that?
Oh yeah.
I heard
Because
all about
there
it.
was supposedly a big hole in the atmosphere and it was going to let all this radiation in and people were going to get skin cancer
To the
and
same
die.
people who don't know whether or not a man is a man,
Yeah.
a woman is a woman, but yet we have this whole
We
thing.
got this all figured out. I mean,
The problem is,
Well, they
that-
do as long as it's transgender.
it's as long as it's trans.
As long as the man that wants to be a woman and a woman that wants to be a man, that's okay. That they can be identified
Yeah.
as a male or a female.
But everything's going to question. Yeah.
But it's like I said, they don't know if there's zebra with black stripes
or
or a
Zebra with
zebra
white
with black stripes and
Or one
or-
with white stripes.
well,
well, I was watching Trump.
a
at his
black
barbershop.
zebra with white stripes or a white zebra with black stripes.
I was watching Trump at a barbershop, and he asked a guy who was a barber. He said, "Tell me about your energy costs." The guy said, "When you were president, I was paying $2,000."
2000, and now he's paying $15,000.
$15,000
That
a
was
month.
crazy. How can you?
He said he
How
asked
many?
him to repeat that.
No, and then he said, "How many heads do you have to cut for that?" I thought that was funny the way he said that, though.
He about fell off his chair.
Yeah, he's
He's
what?
like, what?
What?
Well, I mean, I guess.
So you're asking me about business. There's your thought about business. We're paying at our place right now.
But-
we pay $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month.
Rent?
No, electric. I pay $1,000 to $2,000 a month for electric.
I can believe that.
Oh, I can
It's
easily
easy.
believe that, yeah.
Because I'm sure all of your stuff is electric,
Yeah, but
and then you can't turn. Oh, and that's another thing that
under
pisses
Trump,
me
I
off.
was paying
How-
less
how-
than $600.
How did Consumers Energy and what is it?
DT.
DT get off saying that between 11 o'clock and 7 o'clock and businesses can't choose when they're going to do business.
They just
So-
it's about control. It's not about
But how
just
did
some
they do
environmental
this,
hazard.
especially when they're supplemented by the state of Michigan, and they're also the only two energy companies in the state of Michigan.
Sam, could
That's
you
true.
imagine? Could you imagine having, like, if there was a possibility of having competition, that would be a good thing for us. I mean, it's a good thing. I hate when another like phone company acquires another phone company, merges together, because now you're going to get jacked up prices and you get poor service.
Okay, but that's another thing that upsets me. Why does a cell phone cost so much to have service? I understand back in the day when they had phone poles,
Yeah.
and with wires that they had to fix, and they had to have linemen to do it.
Why is
But now they
Comcast
have
cost more?
towers all over the place.
Right.
Why is Comcast
How is
cost
that
more?
so expensive? A tower.
It's this low cost maintenance, I would think, for like the technology.
Well, not only that, but we got burnt another millage, the 911,
Yeah.
and then the cell phone millage.
How about all the taxes and all
That's
the
what
fees
I'm
you have to
saying.
pay
Yeah.
when you get done with your Comcast?
Because
maintenance
that was
and all
remember
stuff?
that was that was an Al Gore thing. The internet.
Yeah.
He started taxing so schools could have internet
What's
on phone bills.
That's good.
Look at your phone bill, all the stuff.
Another thing is too, though, the phone.
Well, you don't even see it anymore.
Well, the taxes on phones actually was done during the Spanish-American War because they wanted to finance the war, and it was just done that was supposed to help the people, affect those people who had wealth enough to have phones. That's how far it goes back. And it never went away.
And it was supposed to be temporary.
Temporary. No, it never went away.
All taxes always start out as a good thing, don't they?
Yeah.
It's always a temporary thing. Temporary forever is a temporary.
And nobody cared because it was only the rich paying
Yeah,
for it.
just like yachts being taxed. Well, they said, well, that just helps, affects the rich. Well, how about the people who actually make the boats and put the electrical systems and stuff? And when people stop buying boats, they're out, yachts, they're out of jobs. So I mean, no, there's not something you could pass in one segment of society. It doesn't impact but another segment of society.
Yeah, but they always use the same line.
It's
The rich
always
have to pay their fair share.
And they never can come up with even a percentage or a.
But they're never in it. I mean,
proportionality or
think
anything.
about it. The politicians have their own retirement plan.
Right.
They have their own medical plan. They're
Yep.
not in Social Security.
No.
They don't have to get. They don't have Medicare. They have their own, and they only have to do one term, I guess, to
Yeah,
be able to get all these bennies.
You
That's
ever
BS, isn't it? Why are you paying for some perpetuity for somebody who retired at the age of 40 or whatever, had one term, but you're going to pay for them for the rest of your life just because they were a congressman? That's not in my opinion, that's not an achievement.
Nope. Out, no money.
No, that you had the money to get voted in, and you wanted to go in there and put up with all that BS.
You had the job for a while, and you got paid for it. Now shut up and go out. Go.
I mean, you got veterans fighting for their medical. You got old people fighting for their Social Security, but these guys
and they can
are they're our elites. They're our royalty.
And they can give a pay increase to themselves whenever they choose to vote it in for themselves. I mean, we can't do that with a corporation. You can't do that as a business owner.
No.
You got the brass tacks. You got to say, well, do I cover all my bills?
No, you got to bend over all the time.
You got to pay the government who does jack shit for me, and they have no skin in this game. But now they're my silent partner, who's very most.
You explained how many times you pay for somebody to come in and just check a piece of paper and then leave.
Yeah.
You don't even know what they're looking at half the time, or if they even are.
The other day, I went to a friend's office.
You what?
I went to a friend's office the other day to pick up some stuff.
Yes.
The FDA came by, gave this guy something. This guy's office is clean, runs everything like that. The guy, the inspector decided to give him a warning and also fine him on something. I asked him what the fine was. He's like, I don't know. He just fines me every single time he comes in here. Doesn't even have to have anything. I mean, this
because
guy
they probably have to have their stats, just like a police officer's
yeah.
got to give out his tickets. He's probably got to go back and say, "Oh, I found this," just to cover his butt, and then go to lunch early.
This floor, you could actually sit there
Right.
and actually
eat off of.
Yeah. I looked at him and I'm like, I can't even go back there without having to put on a lab coat and a thing over my head and on my face, all that sort of stuff. And he's
And I'm sure it's the same thing at your
well,
business, right?
I'm a little bit more lax. I mean, you can go in without gloves. But I mean,
you do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you do what you got to do. I mean, but we don't have to wear lab coats when you go in ours because we're not.
But you still have to, even with that little bit of stubble, you got to do the
cover
beard thing,
right.
and then
I stay away from it.
you have to put the thing on your head.
No, because I'm bald. So
It was get dandruff in it or what? I don't know.
No,
But
when I walk out, they check my head and check my ears, make sure I have nothing. So, but no, that's just kind of. But what do you think about Vance's performance at the GOP debates? What do you think he did? What do you think?
You know what he
I think he
did.
does
No, what
great.
do you think between him and Waltz going forward?
There is no comparison.
Like I said, they're two of the most disappointing candidates for president and vice president on the same, and they're on the same ticket
Right.
that have ever run since since Pence. Pence was horrible.
Yeah.
Mister, I can't talk to that girl without my wife here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's flaky. I mean, but that's sometimes the conservatives are. Some of the conservatives I know are ridiculous.
He's an idiot.
I think Pence was pushed on Trump.
A lot of that stuff, he even admits that people were pushed on him, and that's, thank God, it's not going to happen.
So this is what we were the Republican Party using our brand. Here's this guy. We try to find a place for him. He's not been good for anything. We're going to put him on you because he knows a lot of people. That's what
Sessions was that.
Yeah.
Remember the attorney?
Yeah.
He was a weak little noodle.
Oh my God.
I have to what's the word? Not disavow, but
yeah, he did.
But that's not the word that I'm looking for. Where he had it, from that, because he had because the Democrats told him he had an interest in it.
Yeah,
they went after Michael Flynn right away. They caught him right at his kneecaps because of some conversation he had with his counterpart. He's always
that was proven false.
Yeah,
that was part of the Russia bull crap that he got.
They're starting that up again
through the ringer.
They're starting to somebody's supposed to have connections, some Russian source or something like that.
Where's Hillary in this?
Yeah, but that's where Trump just needs to come in, and Democrats start going, well, too bad for you. And like I said, here's a presidential napkin. You don't even deserve a hanky. Dry your tears and put on your big boy pants. We got to talk about the future.
All right.
What do you think is going to be this time with if we win the Senate and win the
I don't care about the Senate or the House. I just care about
I just want to get the presidency
doing
thing.
what he's got to do.
Yeah, because
and putting the right people where the right people got to be.
And
don't even worry about him getting them confirmed. Who cares? You don't have to be confirmed. You can be in that position as acting the whole term. The whole term is.
I don't know that, but
who cares?
That's a good thing. You can do that.
Why even waste your time going through that, putting your people in there to be confirmed? Who cares?
Yeah, let them be acting.
It's because I bet you the left has always done this, and behind the scenes they have so many.
They have,
yeah.
Okay, if you want to work on anything and you want to get things confirmed, get your judges confirmed. Don't worry about you're only going to be there 4 years anyways.
Yep.
Why? Who cares if you have an acting attorney general the whole time?
Do you think they should have any press conferences?
Oh yeah,
I think I would.
I think I would.
Because I think the people, the reporters want grown-up people talking to them. After word salad number 2, what's her name? AJP.
I don't know, cream pure.
Yeah.
Whatever. Could you imagine somebody like Huckabee in there again?
Yeah, but she won't.
No, of course she won't. I said somebody like her.
Yeah.
Kaylee might come back.
Why would you give up a governorship to be?
Kaylee might come back from Fox.
I think he cut ties with her because he said some mean things about her.
He said some mean things about a lot of people, but I think sometimes mean things got to be said. I mean, he
didn't like the way that she was talking about him on Fox.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. Fox is done too. Yeah, they got as much credibility with me as CNN.
When Roger Ailes left, I think that was it for him.
I'm just saying, Fox News sucks.
They
all
got the same way.
The only thing that I tune in for is like you tune in for is Gutfeld. I don't want that. I've got that on DVD, whatever it's called. So I go right through all the commercials. I don't see anything else for Fox News.
I like the 5 because it's Gutfeld's on there and Jesse's and Dana and Judge. I don't like, and then the Herald once in a while is on there. It's fine. But
that was a mistake not running that man.
Who?
Herald.
Yeah, he's a good Democrat.
He's a moderate. He's what?
But he's one of the crew on there.
Oh, he's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a nice guy, and he's well spoken, and he gets his point across without.
He doesn't go
No,
negative one way or the other.
no.
He's very honest. He's straightforward.
That's rare.
I mean, how hard would it be to be a moderate Democrat, an old blue dog, who believes in the American way and still patriotic, and then put up with all this BS over the last 10 years or 8, well, more like 15 years, right?
Yeah.
15. How would you? It'd be hard, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And still be able to maintain being a Democrat.
Because the Democratic Party is this left everybody who wasn't Democrats. Like, where the hell did you guys go? You're going so far
Well, that's
left.
where Gabbard came out as a Republican. She's a Republican now,
Right.
as of 2 days ago, right?
On Monday.
Yep. So I mean,
Was it Monday or Sunday?
And the same thing was
Monday.
RFK. Might as well say he's a Republican because he said that famous term, "I didn't leave the Democratic Party; the Democratic Party left me."
Right. And his family was the quintessential
And
Democrat.
he's not a bad speaker, even with
that voice.
Yeah, I mean, I think that sort of helps. It makes you pay more attention to what he's saying, so you can understand it.
Well, it's like, that is a,
He got such an ovation in Atlanta. I guess it was Atlanta, wasn't it? But I know it was in Georgia. All those people. It was one of the larger events that Trump's ever had with Turning Point. That was so cool when he came out there. It was like 5 minutes of people just
applauding him.
Yeah.
I
think he's going to be a savior.
Well, another thing is too, but she's paying this for a personal price. I can imagine because of his family. They abandoned him on this. The bulk of his family's gone.
Come on, man. You know how family dynamics are. He's probably not talking to half these people anyways.
He's the only relevant one of the whole.
They try to make the rest of his family relevant when they're not.
No, it's like Teddy was horrible. I mean, of the Kennedy clan, he was the worst. I mean, but he stayed in it the longest.
But you think about it. Do you think a lot of corporations are going to self-police and straighten shit out before Trump takes office? Like, especially knowing when he does finally announce the exact position that Kennedy's going to have. Do you think they're going to Kellogg? I think it's Kellogg.
Yeah, Kellogg's.
Do you think they're going to fix their cereal and different things before they even get a chance to tell them they have to do it?
Because they don't want the boycott and the scrutiny that's going to go beyond that.
Well, we should pick the strictest company that they send their products to and say, this is your new standard,
right?
Whatever, and with all of them. And these drugs that they can't go ahead.
I was going to say Kogel's did that. They had the highest standards anyway. Here in Michigan, Kogel's locally produced product, meat products. They had the higher standard. And actually, the government tried to force them to lower their standards. You got your standard. We're going to live by our standard, which was higher.
I mean, have you ever been to another state and looked at their meats where they're allowed to dye them?
Yeah, we don't do that. Yeah,
I mean, when I got a hot dog, it was in Texas. When I got a hot dog, it was like almost blood red.
Yeah, the waters, like you see, like
don't eat one in Alabama. I tell you.
In Chicago, they're the hot dogs.
Well, I'm just saying the coloring. They're allowed to put dyes in them when Michigan's not.
Yeah, it's all red.
The other side is, I think. Here's the thing. I think you're gonna see once Trump wins, between the time it's that time and the time he's sworn in, you're going to see a lot of DEI being kicked out of a lot of companies.
They already are. Yeah, Toyota did it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you're going to see a lot of companies right side.
It didn't work with Kamala, so we're going to abandon this.
No, I mean, I think you're going to see BlackRock coming back down off their high horse.
Well, I think they'll be broken up.
I think it's going to be antitrust.
And I think that's where a lot of this money's coming from.
I think that's okay.
Blacking up Kamala.
Instead of investigating Hunter Biden, Hillary Clinton, and all these other jackasses that nobody cares about, investigate BlackRock.
BlackRock, and what's the other one? On Main Street or something like that?
Investigate them, especially with the housing where they're buying all these properties up at pennies on the dollars from people, and then they fix them up and they jack up the rent on it and make everything go up and be unaffordable.
And they want to make it like they want to own a huge portion of the housing market in the United States so they can really make.
Well, they did it in Florida, but they lost money in Florida.
Julie sent me something that was interesting. Can I read it to you guys?
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, but
it'll be really quick. I promise.
Okay, when you find it, let us know.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
But no, I just think that yeah, that's just diabolical what they're BlackRock and those other companies are doing. I mean,
but the thing is that the politicians are letting them do it, and the politicians are making money off because they're betting on BlackRock.
Right. I mean, they're filthy. I mean, they're filthy rich. They always there's not enough money for them. Nothing's enough. They always have to have more. I mean, they could be choking on it, and they still want more.
It's crazy.
And these are politicians who demonize people who actually.
I mean, how much is too much? I mean, how much money would you be happy with? I mean, what would make you happy? I mean, how much money would you have to have?
I'd say if I got $5 million, I'd be happy because I mean, I could perpetuate that until.
Let's just go a month. How much for 1 month would take care of all your bills?
$4,000 a month easily. $4,000, which it's kind of. I mean, it'd give me a little bit of excess to blow out on.
Okay, let's bump it up to 5 because of consumers during the winter time, so you can live comfortably the whole year long.
Right. So yeah, $5,000 a month would be great. But I don't think it's. I mean, I
don't think that's too much to ask.
No, I mean, but $5,000 a month. I mean, it's like
for one person.
For one person, yeah. I mean,
I'm talking about a family.
It's like that'd be good enough.
John and I aren't good enough to have a family.
Yeah, we're not good enough. Yeah.
Oh dear Lord.
We don't want to put up with the bullshit.
I mean, I look at people with families and say, "Oh God, I wish you that."
Especially when you're in a store and you can tell that they're arguing and they're not happy with one another because she's pushing the basket like the Wicked Witch of the West, and he's walking behind her like, man, when I get out to that car, I'm gonna get smoked.
I'm gonna get
And then you say, "That's why I'm not married."
My dad always says, "You do have the last." As a man in marriage, you're gonna have the last word. It's yes, dear. Yes, dear. It's like, please don't kill me. So
that's why,
we don't want to get him in trouble.
I'm not saying
that's us talking.
That's us talking.
That's us real men talking.
That's real men.
Ouch. I would say 10. And that's me.
You couldn't find it?
No, I couldn't find it.
Can you remember it?
No, I'll bring it next time.
Okay.
Oh man.
So let's see. You think you should wrap it up tonight?
We should wrap it up at the 10 for me. What do you think?
I got nothing else to talk about.
What do you think? How much is good for you to live on?
Oh, yeah, I got it already.
What is it? Oh, you got that. You're fine.
I'm not going to tell you how much I got.
But you're fine.
I'm comfortable.
Oh, you're comfortable.
All right.
I'm comfortably retired. I can do whatever I want.
So
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. Okay, if I don't have to work.
I'm uncomfortable.
Thank you.
Have a good.
Thanks to the U.S. government.
Yeah,
I'm well taken care of.
You've worked hard.
Yeah, but you did 20 some years for it. So, all right, we'll wrap it up. Have a good one.